Hi, my name is Ann Edenfield-Sweet, Executive Director and Founder of Wings for Life International. And boy, this is part 2 of a very exciting time. The guys have their new shirts on. They're all part of our Wings team. In fact, the Wings gang, and we are going to have the founding members of our Wings gang be helping us as we continue to reach out and try to catch as many kids as we can, help them to avoid the gangs, stay in school, and do all the things that people want to have for a successful, wonderful life. That's what we're all here for, right?
Yes, yeah.
So okay, let's just start with that. Okay, we've already talked about schooling, but what dreams do you have in your life now? What do you guys want to do now?
Be a full-time dad and do right for once, and stay out of jail and try to live a normal life for once. It's hard, like right now, coming from doing all that so many years. It's hard, but we're getting it done though. Slowly but surely, we're getting it done.
Well, we're going to help you too.
Yes.
We are going to help you.
Yes.
So you just want to be a full-time dad. Mm-hmm. You just want to get a job. You just want to have a home that you could go home to, and just exist, right? And not worry about who's behind you and what's going to happen in life.
Yeah, and like I want my daughter to be not even. She doesn't look toward gangs anyways. She's like against it because myself and my baby mama are gang members. So she's not really about the gang life.
Who's been raising your daughter?
My baby mama right now.
Oh,
yeah.
So she's been able to do it and not be part of the gang.
Well, yeah, she's still a part of the gang, but she's grown up a lot more lately and doing more motherly things instead of doing the nonsense. And now that I'm getting out again, my daughter already told me, well, let's see, Dad, let's see what happens now.
Well, we're going to help you. And where are you going home to?
I'm going to get a house or something up here in Albuquerque.
Okay, so we're going to be here, and when we can be back in person, we do weekly meetings, and we eat dinner together. Your daughter could come. We have a karate instructor. We have people that teach art and all kinds of fun things, and we have tutors that will help if anybody is struggling, and we will help you.
Okay.
Okay?
That's fine. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
And Johnny, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to getting myself over to the Lord for you know what I mean? Because I know for a fact that I can't do it without Him. Because I tried every other way and it didn't work. Being in my granddaughter's lives, finding somebody who's going to love me as much as I love her, and living a good life. I'm 55, so I have maybe like 15, 20 years.
Come on, life. You got more than that. You got. I won't tell you how old I am. So you got many more years than that.
That's good. That's more hope for me right there. Thank you. But I have a good job. I plan on staying at this job until they get rid of me. I love what I do. And I want to get a house. My daughters will help me get a vehicle. When it's time. Just to be in their lives, like to be a father and a grandfather.
And you just be there day in and day out.
Yes.
Is that, because I was going to say, define a good life. You said you wanted to have a good life. Is that a good life for you? Is that how you would define that?
No drugs, no guns, no gang. That's a good life.
Say that again. I think our listeners need to hear that.
No drugs, no guns, and no gangs. Definitely no gangs.
Okay, and what are you looking forward to?
Again, like my boy said right here, I'm gonna give my life to the Lord. I've done everything every other way. Also, I'm planning to further my education. I want to do this outreach kind of stuff a little bit more. I have struggles as far as child support right now that they're garnishing about a lot of my check because of me being incarcerated. And so I feel like I'm working for free, but but as far as everything else, I mean, again, my kids, my grandkids, my parents, my brother, sister, I want to be a good role model for them. I want them to be proud of me.
Yeah.
I know they've loved me unconditionally, but I want them to be proud of me, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, look at this, my son is doing this, you know, my dad's doing this, my dad, you know, it's wonderful now. My granddaughters or my grandsons, they call me up, and I'm very involved in, especially my granddaughter, you know, like my daughter calls me up and she's like, Dad, you need to talk to this little girl, you know, and I could talk to her and she listens to me, you know what I mean? And
How old is she?
She's 6.
6. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
she listens and she's like, yes, Papa, you know, and it's the best feeling ever, you know?
To hear that, huh?
Yeah, it is, you know? I mean, I know my grandsons, you know, they tell me about their day, or I'll be, you know, I ask them, I call them almost daily just to see how their day was at school, you know? And I would see what they learned, you know, and I'll quiz them, you know, their math or whatever, you know? That's my thing. I want to be more, I've been more involved in their lives. Especially my girls, I text them every day, you know, just, hey, I'm just calling up to see how your day's going. Have a wonderful day. Love, Dad, you know. I make sure I've been doing it.
Every morning?
daily. Yeah.
It's crazy because I do my daughters like that.
Yeah.
I tell them good morning, love you.
Exactly.
Well, that
Every
is so
morning.
important. That is
Exactly,
so important.
yeah.
And you've talked about God, and you know the lowest recidivism rate is for people that have turned their life over to God. And we will help you find a church home if you don't have one. Doesn't matter what denomination, where you want to go. I never tell people to go to the church at the corner, whatever. I will connect you to somebody in that local church that will welcome you in and bring you in. Because I know for me, as the wife of a prisoner, the first church that we were a member of for 12 years, no one called us when he got arrested.
Wow.
12 years. Then I got hired as youth director of a church, and when my husband was coming home from a federal prison, 6 years into his prison sentence, and I went in, I ran into the staff, and I said, my husband's coming home. He had a 15-year sentence. And listen to this one. 15 years, 6 years, and he's coming home. The warden had gone in, said, you're going home.
Oh, wow.
I ran in to say, my husband's coming home from prison, and the new pastor in front of everybody said, well, then I can no longer be your pastor.
What?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And so there are pastors that won't welcome us. So you all have tattoos. And just like the pastor that we met earlier today said, people judge him by the way he looks. Well, you might encounter that. So I want you to find a church home where you are welcome. And I promise you, and I promise every prison I go to anywhere, I will help. If somebody wants to find a church home, I will help you find a church home where you feel comfortable. With your whatever, if you grew up with any particular church, denomination, whatever, I'll try to help you find that. Because everybody can't fit in my church. We're in a church right now. Everybody that I meet can't fit in this church either. So the goal is, if we filled up every church all over, we could really make a difference, couldn't we? Yeah. So we want you to find a church home for your daughter, for your wife, for your family. And they probably have one, but we'll find you a church home here where when they come to visit, they can help. And
That would be really nice.
And I know you're thinking about going to Alaska to be with your family.
Either Alaska or Seattle, one or the other.
Okay.
I eventually want to transfer out of here to, you know, I mean, my family, my immediate family, most of it's up in Alaska. And but I got a job offer in Seattle just recently, and I'm considering that, you know.
I would highly recommend going to Alaska. You will find job offers there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just know the importance of family.
Yeah.
And you think Alaska's close to Seattle. It's not. And so, for what it's worth, family is, I've heard that, all of you have said, that's one of the keys. Education, family, and God. I heard you say God.
Yes,
And so we can help you with all of that. But I would recommend, I don't care how good the job sounds in Seattle, you need your mom and dad. Your mom and dad are not going to live forever. And you need to treasure your parents, you need to treasure your children, your loved ones, and the people that are gonna be there for you. Tell me about your homies. How many of your homies were there for you while you were in prison? I want you to talk to the camera here. I want you guys in that audience to hear how, because I ask this question all the time when I go to prison. How many of those people sent in money for you, for your commissary, and sent you Christmas cards and everything?
Not one.
I only had two, honestly two, but I consider him like a little brother. I mean, he's been with me since I moved to Mexico. My mom looks at him as a son too, I mean.
Okay, so really more of a family.
Yeah.
And okay, so you had two.
But like homies from the streets, no, like they threw me the crazy.
Yeah, they didn't care about you, did they?
Not at all.
No, you were history, and that was an emphatic,
Not one.
not one,
No.
None.
none.
Family.
Okay, so if you're thinking out there, all these good old buddies of yours are gonna be there for you when you go to prison and have to spend more than, you all have spent more than half of your life behind bars, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, man.
Just about that.
And how many of you wanna go back and spend any more days behind a bar?
No more. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, so life behind bars, is that a fun place to be?
No.
Even if you're a member of a gang, is it a
No,
fun place to be?
no.
It's a lonely place and it's a sad place and it's
Yeah.
Our time stops. Our time stops. The minute we walk through those doors,
Yeah.
our time stops. It's crazy because I got locked up first time in federal prison at 32. I got out at like 37, 38, and you get out and you still think you're 32 years old,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
I
when I'm locked up,
Because I mean, our whole thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know with you.
I block out everything. So
Everything.
Yeah.
whatever, my life is in that place. So you don't think about anything in the free world.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, when you get out, you see these kids that were kids, now they're teenagers and young adults. You're like, damn, that's crazy.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I know.
I'm still picturing
I know
those kids.
myself. You know what I mean? Because we are older. You know what I mean? We're old. I mean, you know what I mean? And this younger generation now, they have no kind of respect or any kind of, they don't hold any respect like we used to
Yeah.
have, like the older generation has.
The older generation,
Serious.
listen to you
And
guys.
my
For
older
real.
homeboys, they taught us respect.
Yeah.
When we went to the county jail,
Mm-hmm.
you respected, you know what I mean, them. You respected what they said. If they said something, you listened to them. These younger kids,
They don't.
they think they know it all. They walk around with their pants hanging out their butt, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they think they know everything, you know? And like, I mean, both of us, me and Johnny, we talked to one of the younger guys in our halfway house just last night. You know, he messed up, and he had that, you know, forget it attitude, you know. And oh man, this just, you know, he went from 0 to 100, and I was
Quick.
Yeah, quick, huh?
His poor mother, his poor kids.
Yeah.
And when he got there, like they were with him 110%. Like gave him, you know what I mean? Like supported him. And I told him, you just threw all that out the window. You poor mom.
He wanted to continue getting high, and we told him, slow down, my boy, slow down. But last night he was sitting on the sink in the bathroom, and he had his head down. I'm just like, check this out, my boy. You know, it's gonna be all right. You know, this is just a step back. You know, I mean, because I got out in January, and I went back. I stayed out for 6 weeks, and I went back on a violation.
Wow.
Because this time around, I was depending on myself. I was with somebody, and I was depending on her life, like her, she was gonna, I was intermingling her life with mine, you know? Now I did everything by myself, you know? I decided, okay, I'm gonna work the programs, I'm gonna work whatever. There's a lot of programs out here for us now.
There are programs out here.
You know what I mean?
there are.
jobs.
There's
Yeah.
so many, you know? You've introduced me to so much stuff. You opened my eyes, and with just that couple weeks being with you, I was like, man,
Yeah.
I started telling these people, I'm like, hey, you know, this and that. I even told Johnny when
I
he
had
was
to
like,
meet you.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I said, watch,
Yeah.
you're gonna have, he had to do community service, so watch, you're gonna have a good time, watch, it's not gonna be
We
that
worked you
bad.
hard though, Johnny.
You know, I liked it. That was a very good experience for me.
Exactly.
Oh, good.
That's what I told him. I said, I take it for whatever it is, you know?
So in case I ever get community service, I know who to.
Well, when you give back to people, when you have your family's support, that's what it's all about.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've got to surround yourself with people that care about you. Because the homies, you already know what's going to happen with them. And you've got to keep encouraging each other too. Because you are going to be tempted. You naturally want to do what you've always done. And it's much easier to do what you've always done than try to do something new, especially if it's not as easy.
This is the longest I've been not on the run, like been actually sober, been actually doing something in, I don't know, maybe 30 years.
30
Yes, ma'am.
years.
This is the longest I've been like,
And how long would you say that?
I've been, I got out of the county because I got out, I was out 3 months and I violated. And then I did 4 months, and I just got out on the 27th of last month.
Okay, so this is the first time.
This is the longest.
The longest you've ever been in 30 years.
This
Okay.
like this. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Remember when you first got there, you were like, man, I want to go. I want to
Yeah,
get the heck
yeah.
out of here. And I was like, man, it's not that bad. I got you. You know,
Yeah,
we're
see,
gonna do a
that's
job.
why you've got to encourage each other. And
Yeah.
so Jorge, what's encouraging you? What's giving you that hope that you could do this?
To prove everybody wrong that I could do it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Because don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do something.
Exactly. I mean, I've been hearing it all my life. Oh, he's gonna go back in anyways. Oh,
let's see how long he stays
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
exactly.
And I've
having
even
little
heard
side bits.
of probation officers that have told people, we have somebody on our board, he spent 33 years in prison, and for 6 years, his probation officer said, you're never gonna make it, you're never gonna make it, you're never gonna make it. Well, finally, at 8 years, he said, I'm buying my own house. Forget this guy telling me I'm not gonna make it. Now he owns his own house,
Wow.
and now he's doing really well.
That's good.
And he has not gone back, and he doesn't ever plan to go back. And guys, you can do the same thing. But you're gonna need to have cheerleaders around, so okay, and all our other wings angels around that are gonna be here for you. So how are you gonna help other people at the halfway house, other people in the workplace? Because you're not making the big bucks now, and we need to work on the child custody problems, because it doesn't do any good to come out and all your money has to go to help pay for the child care fees, and then you don't have any money to live on. That doesn't do anybody any good either. So these are things that we can work on, legitimately work on. So what are some other bigger issues that you want to work on in your life now that you're out, and now you want to live that good life?
Yes.
But are there any bigger issues that, like you've said, you want to start maybe doing some work maybe in schools and talking to kids and going out and public speaking and things?
Yeah, there's a peer support program that I'm probably going to be enrolling in. It's a 2-week program after you get your certificate to be a peer support counselor. And that's just one step, you know. But I want to further my education. I'm a few credits away from getting an associate.
Oh, wow, good for you.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I got
Yep, get that?
about 10 credits away, 10, 12 credits, that's it. And
Yeah.
so, you know what I mean, I plan on going back and just finishing my education, because I went with my brother to one of his presentations when he was getting his master's degree, and there was a guy there giving his a speech, and he didn't have as much, I say, street cred as any one of us, and I think any one of us could have done a better job and be able to show documentation.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what I
And
mean?
one of our guys that has worked for us, and he just moved to Mexico, he was working for us, he wrote a book from GED to PhD. At 45, he was in prison his whole life. At 45, his son said, he was telling his son, you got to go back to school. And his son said, well, Dad, you've never gone to school. He said, okay, we'll both get our GEDs. He got from GED to PhD, guys. You could do this. You could do it. But you could, it's what you put your mind to. So, okay, so you're going to do that now. And also, peer support workers. If you're listening, the peer support work program is fantastic. Because even with gang life, they take former gang members and they put them in as peer support workers. So you could go out and help other people. I can introduce you to the people that run these programs. And they all have sentences. And now they're using what they've learned in prison and their life experiences to turn it around for other people.
Yeah.
You guys could do this too. And then just think, you could take any of the negative things that you've learned in your life, just like me, well, what did I do? You know, husband in prison. Okay, how do we help those other families? You can help the kids that are thinking about gangs. So we've got a few minutes left, and I want you to be able to just talk now from your hearts. What do you want to tell people about when they're thinking about gangs, they're in a gang, and maybe they're saying, oh my gosh, how come I did this? You joined a gang because your cousins were there. I'm sure there were times at various times in your life you said, gee, I wish I could get out of this, but I can't. What do you want to encourage people that are before they get there, or maybe they're in there, and maybe they're listening to this in prison, and they say, "Oh, now what do I do? How do I get out of this?" What words of wisdom do you want to share?
You want to speak on this, John?
Knowledge.
All right.
I mean, all of you. So think about it.
Basically, I would just say, do you want to end up dead or in prison? You want to end up dead, prison. That's your two options, you know, or going to prison for somebody else's stuff. You know, there's a lot of guys that go down for other people's crimes because you can't say nothing. You know what I mean? Once you get pulled over, you get arrested. You can't say nothing. You know, whether it's the gun's under your seat and it's not yours. You know, hey, you got to write it. You know, unless you want a bad name for yourself. You know, but
or fear probably to be killed.
Yeah,
because if you go against somebody. I mean, that's what I would think on the outside, not being part of a gang life. Isn't that a possibility then?
Yeah, you know, I mean, and then once you're in the gang, I mean, you no longer, I mean, you are required to do certain acts to get.
You don't belong to society.
Yeah, you belong to that clique, you know. You got to do certain acts to. Again, it's like a military. Yeah, it's like a military. Like
if the commander tells you to do something, you have to do it.
Yes. Yeah, and there's repercussions behind it if you don't. You know, so if you we're going at it with the rival gang, and the homies were like, "Hey, well, we gotta go shoot up these dudes tonight." There's no doubt. That's what we're gonna go do.
You had to go do it.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go do.
So how are you going to help other people to not get there in the first place? Is there a way that you can encourage? It looks like you're ready to say something, Jorge.
What I would encourage is stay home. Stay home and do what your parents tell you. And if you can't do that, go get a job. I mean, like
So go to school.
Yeah, if you don't want to go to school and get your GED or get your schooling, go get a job. I mean, that's going to keep you busy as well. Because if not, once you get a little bit of freedom in your hand, that's when you want to start running amok through the streets, and it's just it'll suck you back in. I mean, and to me, now I'm keeping my mind busy now, so I'm not worried about the street life no more. And everybody's kind of like tripping out on me because. By now, I would have already ran away from the halfway house again and went back to what I was doing. And I recommend just listen to your elders, get your schooling. If you want to do schooling, then get up and go get a job. I mean, and if you don't want to do that, then hey,
Find a
Go look
hobby.
for a program.
Find out, yeah.
Find a hobby.
Yeah.
Find a hobby.
Don't find a gang. That's what I think I'm hearing. And what do you think about Ernesto's statement about their two ultimate choices, prison or death? Do
Yes,
you
it-
agree with that?
Yes, that's totally true. I mean, because all the gang life leads to is power, which comes with a lot of death, and with power comes getting caught up. Like you said, you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. You got to go down for somebody else's crime, or if you go down for your crime. And what we do, we don't do minor crimes or anything. We're doing some havoc out there. I mean, and it's causing hurting a lot of people and stuff. And at the end of the day, it's not even worth it. You mean, seeing everybody mourn for their family. You mean, and whatnot. And I'm just glad that I wasn't that one. You mean, but I can tell you this: I've been shot, stabbed, and it sucks. I don't like it.
I know each and every one of us that we've witnessed violence and like horrific instances. You know, like we've all talked about it. We're so callous to it, which is not normal. It's
Right,
not normal.
right.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's
That's
not.
just the street, and then like as far as doing all that time, you get institutionalized. It's called,
Right.
and like your mind is a one-track mind. About like some people still like trip off because I still do things the way I do things in prison. They're like, hey, you're in a free world. You don't have to do that no more. You mean, or things like that. You mean, it's like,
Eat a top of ramen.
yeah,
The best soup the other night.
I mean, it's like I'm already,
He took it
I'm
way
already,
back.
I'm already embedded in my head about how to do things.
We're at work and he's eating the top of ramen. I'm like, really? Are you doing this?
Yeah, you really don't have to
Hey.
eat ramen anymore.
Hey, but I asked him for a bite. He ate real quick though.
I ended it.
It was good.
That shit was bomb. But I like to say one thing, like the homie said, like, gang, there's only two things that can happen. And that's going to be prison or death. That's it. But
Or the new gang, the
Or
Wings
the-
gang.
by God's grace, we're still here.
Yes, you are.
You know,
There's
and
no
it's
such
not by
thing.
anything. It's not by luck. It's not by anything. It's by, you know what I mean.
So you can use, God can use you now big time.
Well, I
Yeah.
always went through life wondering what my what I was put here on earth for.
Your purpose.
My purpose in life, you know what I mean? I lost my son, I lost my father, I lost every cousin that I was close to murder, you know?
Wow.
And my best friends, they're all passed away, you know? And I realized it just not the other day, but just this time that I got out. This is it right here. This is my purpose in life. This is why he let me live 55 years. I went through all that, and I'll do it again to sit right here and to help people. It's got to be it, you know?
Well, wow. I mean, how can you beat that for a closing statement, really? Because, yes, I certainly didn't want a husband to go to prison, but I am so called to do what I do because I'm uniquely qualified to be able to help the families. And each of you guys are uniquely qualified to help those that are currently in gangs, those that want to get out of gangs, and to prevent people getting involved in gangs in the first place. You can all be the dads, the grandfather. You're going to be a grandfather someday,
Yeah, sure.
and you want to be there for them. You want to live that quality life that you all are talking about,
Yeah.
and you can do it. And so I'm so grateful for these three men. This is very brave of you to step up, to be able to talk about this, to be able to share the difficulties that you've had in your life, and to be able to use it to help somebody else. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be able to take this program and be able to share it with other people. And maybe it will just touch just that one person that needs to hear that they don't want death or prison. And they don't want to be a father and having their children shot and your cousin shot and all your best friends dead. That is not what life is all about. No.
You know, we went through, this is a big hurdle. We just, right here, just us three, all being in the same halfway house and be able to sit on the stage. You made this happen, you know what I mean? Through you, I was able to tell these dudes, I was like, hey, and through us, all of us, we've been talking about it, that like more than a handful of other dudes were like, man, really, are you guys doing that? Like just right before I was coming, there was a guy, what's his name? It was right by you, the Bunky,
The one in the
Brewtown,
corner?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know his name.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Anyways, he asked me, he's like, man, he goes, I've been wanting to do that for a long time, man. He goes, the next time you do anything like that, can you please keep me in mind? And there was been more than a handful of guys that already told me the same thing. They're like, man, we'd love to have that experience. I was like, you know what? I said, if I get the opportunity, I'll keep you in mind.
We'll try to do that. And you know what? You are gang leaders, right? All of you were leaders, right? Okay, now you're going to be part of this Wings gang, okay? So as a leader, what that means is that you don't just sit back. You use those God-given leadership skills that each of you were given to go out and to be able to help and use your life experience to change other people's lives in a positive way.
Okay.
And that's the
That's
challenge.
the goal.
That is the goal and the challenge, and I'm gonna be on top of you guys, you know.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
we're gonna close with a story. It's called 15 Things You Could Give Up to Be Happy. To be happy. Let's listen to these, okay? Give up your need to always be right. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because sometimes other people have a better idea. Boy, I surround myself with people that have better ideas. Come on, they don't come to me. Okay, number 2, give up your need for control. In a halfway house, I bet that's tough, right? And as a gang leader, that's tough.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
sometimes we have to do that, right? Okay, number 3, give up on blame. What do you think about that one?
Give up on what?
Blame.
Yeah.
Stop blaming yourself.
That's gonna be a hard one.
It's a hard one. It is. Stop blaming other people.
Yeah.
Yep. We each are responsible for our own lives, aren't we? Okay, number 4. Oh, I like this one. Give up your self-defeating self-talk. So you're not going to say, well, I'm going to have to go back to that life. I need that. I want that drug. Whatever. No. You start programming in your head what you want your life to be. And it's like a computer. What you put into that computer is what it's going to come out. And so start putting in, get rid of that self-defeating self-talk, okay? You can do everything. You want to get that GED, you want to get that education, that degree, whatever. You guys can do it, right? Okay, give up limiting beliefs. Don't believe that you can only do so much. Only God knows what we all can do, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So do not give up and limit your beliefs. Boy, this is a good one. Give up complaining. Complaining doesn't do any good, does it?
No.
No. Let's find positive ways to make change, right? So we all
Yeah.
agreed on that one.
Yeah.
Give up the luxury of criticism. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't do us any good to sit around and criticize, does it? Again, we need to try to help other people. Give up your resistance to change. Oh, boy. Because, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to get out of that mindset for gangs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're going to have to do that. Okay, number 10. Ooh, give up labels. There's only one label now you got. Wings gang.
I got
So-
my helmet all day.
Yeah, so you're going to have to give up the labels, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give up, number 11, give up your fears. So your fears of walking down the street and being shot.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the fear, we just have to live our lives. And if we get shot someday, I could be shot, random shooting, whatever. We have to live every day, don't we? Okay? Give up excuses. No more excuses. Well, that was that life. That was what somebody told me to do. No, you're living your own life, right? Okay, number 13. Oh,
13.
number 13. Give up the past. You can only live today, right?
That's one thing is I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, that's my problem right there, is the past.
The past.
Yes.
Okay, you got to give it
I'm
up.
getting
Number
better
13.
though.
Give
I'm
it
getting
up.
better though, a lot better.
You could give it up and you can have something better. Okay. This is interesting. Give up attachment.
Attachment
Attachment. You were attached to that gang life, weren't you?
Mhm.
to that whole.
Big time. And that whole lifestyle, right?
Yes,
Okay, got to give it up. Says right here, 15 things you have to give up to be happy, or you could give up to be happy. And lastly, number 15, give up living your life to other people's expectations.
Yeah,
Live
Yeah.
them for yourself.
yeah,
Yep.
do it
I
for
never
yourself.
thought about that.
Yeah. So your family, your daughters want the very best for you.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
again, it's not what your daughter wants, it's what do you want for your life. Not what your mom and dad want, your grandkids want, or your daughter wants, or your baby's mama wants. It's what you want, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So folks, let's remember 15 things that we could give up to be happy. And let's remember what we've heard from these very dedicated, very brave individuals who have shared about gang life. And I hope that this will help you to make choices in your life that you will be happy about and proud about, and you'll look back on and say, I lived a quality life. And guys, I absolutely, wish the very best for all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to do everything we can to help you,
Okay.
to
I
live that
appreciate
life
it.
of success, whatever that is for you.
Okay.
So thanks, everybody, for being with us tonight. Hope to see you at another Wings for Life, and just go out and spread those wings and have the best life that you can. That's why we named it this program, to have wings to fly for the rest of your life. And guys, we want that for you.
Yes.
So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
next
you.
time. Bye-bye.